Okay, so all right, so this is the packet that's on for Wednesday, discussing theme, understanding theme in fiction and poetry. What are life's big lessons? What do you think of when you hear the word lessons? You might picture a chalkboard and a textbook or start sweating at the thought of a quiz. But it is also possible to learn valuable lessons on a Saturday while hanging out with your friends. For instance, you might learn the importance of nurturing a friendship in order to help it grow. You can even learn lessons while reading a powerful book or watching a gripping movie. The messages about life and human nature that writers and directors convey through their work are called themes. So I'm going to underline that. And that's why you guys want to watch things that kind of have good lessons to learn from. That's why you shouldn't always watch trash and things that are just don't teach you anything, because you can learn a lot from other people's mistakes or other people's examples and stories. And that's why it's good to read biographies too. Because, for example, Michael Jordan, he obviously almost everybody knows Michael Jordan, basketball player. I quit watching basketball after he retired. I just love Michael Jordan. I think he's terrific. But when he was in 10th grade, he got cut from the basketball team, which means he didn't make the team, if you can imagine. But he didn't quit, and he grew and then came back and obviously became who he is. So the theme of Michael Jordan's story there would be persevere or don't quit or don't give up. So that's the theme of his story. The themes they share can keep you from having to learn lessons the hard way. Kind of like I said, learn from other people's mistakes. And that's really important, especially being a teenager, because you should listen to older people. We've gone through life, we've learned what works and what doesn't. And so don't be too stubborn to listen to other people and maybe learn from their mistakes, because learning lessons the hard way is no fun. And sometimes you can't get out of that predicament, and you don't want to ruin your life because of one bad choice. Okay. So understanding theme. Now remember, Mrs. Stoltz did this with you when you were virtual. We are just going to review and work with it. So if you have any questions, you guys can email me about theme. So winning isn't everything. Follow your heart. You've probably learned lessons like these at one time or another. Your own experience is usually the best teacher, but literature can also communicate important truths or themes. A theme is a message about life or human nature that a writer wants readers to understand. In this workshop, you'll learn how to figure out what the stories, poems, and plays you read really mean. Part 1, Topic versus Theme. Have you heard the fairy tale about the duckling who doesn't fit in? Do you guys, you know that story, the ugly duckling, right? And what would be the theme for the ugly duckling, do you think? Probably don't worry about what others think. Is that a theme? Yeah. Yo, absolutely. Yep. But that's where, and as you go through life, you gain confidence in yourself, because it really doesn't matter what others think, because, some of it's probably jealousy. Yeah, and I'm sure it's tougher growing up today. And his siblings call him the ugly duckling because he looks different from them. In the end, the duckling discovers that he's actually a beautiful swan. The story of the ugly duckling is about being different, but this is not the theme of the story. It is simply a topic, one or two words that sum up what the story is about. The theme is the writer's message about the topic. It's important to accept people for who they are, or differences are what make people special. Are two possible themes of the story. Now you notice that it says are two possible themes. Our theme that we chose, does it fit the story? Could it be a theme? Absolutely. Okay. While a topic can be described in a word or two, it takes a complete sentence to describe a theme, as you'll notice in the following examples. So the theme, sometimes you need to have a sentence to describe it. So down below is a poem called The Drum. Remember that they said topics typically are one word. Daddy says the world is a drum tight and hard, and I told him I'm gonna beat out my own rhythm. Theme statements. It's important to be yourself. People should march to their own rhythm. Individuality is about doing your own thing. So you can see that there's several different themes. They're all related, but you can say it in a different way. Another theme that I'm thinking of is, I guess I was thinking more like this. I was going to say, do what you want to do in life, which is kind of similar to this, right? Theme in a story. Many fables teach lessons about human nature through the actions of animal characters. And we have read myths. This week we talked about folklore. So you should know what fables are. You'll probably maybe read some fables next week. Aesop's fables always teach a lesson. They usually have a moral. Do you guys know what a moral of a story is? A moral is the life lesson. These lessons communicate important themes. As you read this fable, notice the mistake the dog makes. The Dog and His Reflection by Aesop. A dog who thought he was very clever stole a steak from a butcher shop. As he ran off with it in his teeth, he crossed a bridge that spanned a small, still river. As he looked over the side of the bridge and into the water, he saw his own reflection, but he thought it was another dog. Thought the dog, that other dog has a nice juicy steak. Almost as good as the one I have. Now, right there, I've picked up the theme. Have you picked up the theme? What do you think the theme is? Okay. I'm going to say the theme, don't. Okay, you could, don't believe, that's a good one. Don't believe everything you see. I was thinking maybe be happy with what you have. Or another theme, I'm trying to get, I can't put it into words today for some reason. Basically, don't envy somebody else. Don't want what others have. There it is, right? He's a stupid looking dog. If I can scare him, perhaps he'll drop his steak and run. This seemed to the dog to be a perfect plan, but as he opened his mouth to bark, he dropped his steak into the water and lost it. So the lesson that you want to learn from that is don't be dumb, right? um, don't be jealous of others because that leads to. And so over here, and that's where active reading comes in. I've already interacted with this little story. So let's see if I missed anything that they want me to know for like the assessment. Explain how the dog loses the steak he stole from the butcher. What lesson can readers learn from the dog's failed plan to get another steak when he already had one? State the theme of this fable in a sentence. So we've already done all that. That's what active reading helps you do. You already have the answers to the questions, and that's why it's so important to actively read. Theme in a poem. This poem has a message about the topic of beauty. The Stray Cat by Eve Merriam. It's just an old alley cat that has followed us all the way home. It hasn't a star on its forehead or a silky satiny coat. No proud tiger stripes, no dainty tread, no elegant velvet throat. It's a splotchy, blotchy city cat and not a pretty cat. So that's what I was just thinking. So it's not a cute cat. And you know what stray cats look like. You know, they're skinny, their fur's a mess, all this and that. So I already know that this is going to ask me about the theme. So perhaps this is going to be like what we said, don't judge a book by its cover. Maybe, I don't know. A rough little tough little bag of old bones. Beauty we shall call you, beauty come in. Maybe a theme is beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Don't judge a book by its cover. And then so over on the side, notice the way the cat is described. Would most people consider this cat beautiful? No, we've already picked it out. Reread the box lines, choose the statement that best expresses this theme. We already did that. Oh, look here. So beauty is something that everyone can agree on. Different people have different ideas about what beauty is. Are we similar in what we said? Absolutely. And that's one thing about theme, like it's not one or two words. As long as you have the general idea, then you will understand theme. Part 2, clues to theme. In some folk tales and stories, the theme is directly stated by a character or the narrator. In most works of literature, though, the theme is not usually revealed in the form of a direct statement. So you need to make an inference. And that's part, oops, I'm getting, look at that. I'm doing active reading. This is the first time I've done this. So as a reader, you need to infer or guess the theme. An inference is an educated guess using your active reading. It's not just an educated guess, okay? I don't like that definition. Because when you are using skills to make an inference, okay? All right, so we're gonna stop there because I don't want to rush through it. Tomorrow I'll continue here. I'll put a video on of what I did today, so you guys need to watch that and finish going through the rest of this packet. And then Friday, yes. So this will be part 1. Part 2 will be tomorrow.